Hello and welcome to today's review of the True Potential portfolios. My name is Chris Leyland and I'm an investment director here at True Potential. So the format for today is that I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about our flagship investment product. So that is the True Potential portfolio range. But firstly, what I want to do is actually discuss the performance of the portfolios. What we'll then see is what are the key themes that we're seeing from our fund manager partners. Finally, discuss what changes have been made over the month, particularly in respect of our new addition to the fund lineup, that is a True Potential fund range in partnership with both HSBC and Bank of Montreal. Okay, so starting off with performance, the month of June has seen the portfolios lose some ground, with both equities and bonds struggling over the period. But you've got to remember that has been after what's been a very positive last couple of months. If we look over the longer term, the track record's excellent, with investors seeing returns of over 40% since launch. That's for the more aggressive portfolios. Okay, so let's look more in depth at stock markets themselves. Asia and emerging markets underperform the more developed areas as worries around what effect the Federal Reserve's, so the US equivalent of the Bank of England's rate rising program, will have on the more indebted areas. The US produced positive returns, however, with the fiscal stimulus through cuts in taxation helping to continue to drive US company earnings. For bonds, inflation-linked bonds were the standout performers, with break-even inflation rates in the US rising. Okay, so let's move on to the performance of the underlying funds that make up our portfolios. The True Potential UBS fund range has been relatively one of the strongest performers. So UBS holds assets such as CARS, their currency fund, which offers uncorrelated returns to both equity and bond markets. The True Potential Goldman Sachs Income Builder Fund also showed good returns, with their strong stock picking ability shining through. The portfolio's overweight position to UBS has been a real benefit for June. Okay, so let's move on to the key themes, and this is after we've spoken to our investment partners. So what overall are we seeing? So the general view is one of a constructive growth picture, with market participants adjusting their expectations to a higher interest rate environment. All investors are watching the US further through the recovery cycle than other developed areas, raising rates and taking away stimulus. Currently, this strategy has been very effective, and now other areas are looking to follow. Within the UK, it now feels likely that we'll see a rate rise in August, although the MPC members have caveated that this is very much data dependent. Trade wars between the US and the rest of the world are a concern, but it's in nobody's interest to allow this to escalate. As you know, True Potential never sits still, and we always look to innovate. We're incredibly proud to announce the launch of our new Truth Potential Growth Aligned Fund Range, a new fund range managed by the team behind the True Potential portfolios. And that's in partnership with both HSBC and Bank of Montreal. The fund is low cost, accessing both active and passive investment styles, with a groundbreaking fee construction aligning clients' interests with True Potential. Over the month, we've added the second tranche of the new fund range into our baseline portfolios of defensive, cautious, balanced, growth and aggressive. This means approximately a drop in the fees on the portfolios, the baseline portfolios, of around 4 basis points, offering you what is a better value product with even more style diversification. That's everything from me. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time.